Should we let God solve our problems? This concept of letting God solve our problems is a bit hard to understand because it can be looked at from several levels. For instance, at its face value, it seems like opting out. It seems like instead of being a man and facing up to life squarely, I am acting in a cowardly fashion and pushing on to God the job of solving my problems. And I would agree from that perspective. However, let's look at it from another point of view. You are God, I am God. Everything and everyone is God pretending to be a person, an animal, a grain of sand, a problem. All that exists is God pretending to be something. So, even a problem is God pretending to be a problem and using itself, God in the form of men, to present you with a problem. So it is all God acting in a complicated way to test your faith in yourself. But we humans can act as if we are not God. We can block God from being uppermost in our lives by putting ego in God's place. When we do that, God takes a step back and allows us to battle with life using our egos. There's nothing wrong with this, and most people do just this. They let ego, the fight-flight part of us, to struggle with life. Let's create a fictitious example. Some person, say a taxman, decides to look at your tax return and decides to send you a hefty bill for unpaid taxes. So you have a choice. You can employ your ego part of you and hire a tax expert to sort the problem out, or you can use your God part to resolve the problem. If you take the second option, what you are doing is this. You realize that you are God, the taxman is God, and the tax bill is God. Because all is God and nothing is set in stone, we can allow the God within us to manipulate the God parts that are the taxman and the tax bill to work according to our or God's desire. We allow the God within us to set up an alternative reality where that problem is resolved. We call it faith, but in reality, it is higher physics. We are manipulating so-called reality to become whatever we desire. To answer the question about whether to act as if God did not exist, in the act of dealing with problems, would it affect spiritual ascension? I have to say no, because as this ascension process evolves, we will all start to look at things from the second way that I described above. So, for the moment, if you choose to work with your ego rather than with God, it is inevitable that change will occur gradually. So what you are doing is just part of a lesson sent from God to help you understand that you are more than just a flesh and blood egocentric being. You are God pretending to be that. That is one of the main reasons that we incarnate, to realize that we are God pretending to be a person. So sooner or later these life lessons or problems will teach you that you are God and can manipulate so-called reality in any way you want.